Hi, RC Dorman 87. Thank you for joining. Come on in the room. As you are coming in the room, please be sure to introduce yourself. Let me know where you're from. And if you have a special event coming up that you are working on. So please come on in the room. Hi, Don Ron 72. Thank you so much for joining. Please let us know where you're from. Let me know where you're from so we can chat. And let me know if you have an event that you're working on coming up in the very near future. Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about choosing the right caterer for your wedding and/or special event. And so as people are coming in the room, I'll just take a moment to introduce myself for those who may not know me. I am Stacy Franklin. I am the owner and lead event planner of It's Your Day Weddings and Special Events, located here in Memphis, Tennessee. And my sole purpose for what I do is to eliminate the stress from the event planning process. So whether you are planning a wedding or a graduation celebration, being that we're in graduation season right now, or maybe an anniversary party, a big birthday celebration, baby shower, bridal shower, whatever the case may be, whatever the event is that you are celebrating and working on, I am here to help you with that process. So if you would please, as you are joining, please be sure to tap the screen and give some hearts, give some likes. Definitely would appreciate that. So thank you so much for joining. As you are coming in the room, please be sure to introduce yourself. Let me know where you're from, where you're joining from, and if you have an event that's coming up that you are working on. Would love to know that and how I can be of assistance. So again, tonight we're going to do just a quick broadcast on choosing the right caterer for your special event. And although most of my broadcasts are geared towards wedding planning, items like picking a caterer crosses the board. So no matter what type of event you are planning, if you have made the decision that you want to have a professional caterer to do your event, these are tips that will definitely help you. So it doesn't have to be that you're doing a wedding. It could be that you are planning an anniversary party, bridal shower, graduation party, whatever the case may be. When you make that decision that you want to definitely have someone, have a caterer to do the food, then these are some things that you definitely want to consider. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. And again, as you are joining, please make sure that you let me know where you're coming in from, where you're joining from, and if you have any events coming up that you are working on that I could be help with. So anyway, tip number one, or let me back up and just say this. If you have planned any type of event, you know that probably the two biggest costs for your event is going to be the venue and the food. The venue and the food. And depending on location, a lot of times it may be the food. And so because of that, because you are spending so much money on food, you want to make sure that you are comfortable with who it is that is going to be providing that food, and that one is, and another thing that is going to be enjoyable for you and for your guest. Food is probably one of those things that most people remember a lot of times about the event, and the thing of it is they definitely remember if the food was not good. So that is definitely the case a lot of times. If the food was bad at an event, that is memorable. People remember that, and that's something that people are asking, well, oh, how was the event? It was all right, but the food was horrible. So you sometimes you hear that, and sometimes I know I've said that about certain, things that I've gone to, that the food just really wasn't that good. So anyway, so number one, you want to start early in trying to secure your caterer. If you are planning a wedding, and let's say you are planning about a year to 18 months out, you want to start at about the 10 month mark, 8 to 10 months or so. You want to start trying to nail down a caterer or get that process started, because the quicker that you can get that started, the more likely it will be that you will be able to get your first choice caterer. So in any event, you want to start as early as possible. As soon as you set a date and probably have a venue selected, you want to go ahead and try and get your caterer nailed down, because it can be a very time consuming process. It really can. And we'll go through, some of that. So number one, start early. Start the process early. Number two, you want to get referrals for the caterer. So talk to family members, talk to friends, talk to people, particularly if you're planning a wedding, talk to people that you know that have recently gotten married. Who did they use, for their catering? Talk to coworkers. These individuals, people that you trust, that you know, that may have similar taste as you when it comes to food. Talk to them. Hi, Tony Toe. Thank you so much for joining. Please let us know where you're joining us from. And please feel free to touch the screen, give us hearts, and share with your followers. But you want to talk to friends, family members, people who have recently gotten married, particularly if you're planning for a wedding. Talk to other wedding planners and other event planning professionals, such as florists and, it may be, the photographers, the videographers. They go to a lot of weddings, and they know, who does good food, who provides good food and great service. And so those are the folks that you want to talk to, get their honest opinions about catering, who provides good food, who provides good service, that kind of thing. And typically when you hear maybe 3 or 4 that just consistently keep coming up and have a good reputation and that they have positive reviews, people are all the time raving about, what they do, the service that they provide. Those are ones that you probably want to put on your list and that you want to check out. And on the flip side of that, if there are those that people say, you may want to stay away from, the food wasn't too good, or the food was good but the service wasn't good, or that kind of thing, those are ones that you may, kind of raise the red flag. So definitely get referrals. Word of mouth is huge. So get referrals from trusted family members, friends, people who've recently gotten married, event planners, other event planning, other event professionals. Because so many times, as a wedding planner, as an event planner, I've had the opportunity to work with a number of different caterers. And I've been to a number of different events. And I try and always make it my business to know, who it is that's doing different things, so that I can have a good understanding and be able to refer and say, yes, I've worked with them, or yes, I've had their food on a number of different occasions, and consistently their food has been good. So you definitely want to get referrals. Number 3, know what types of food the caterer is known for preparing. And I say that because everyone, a lot of times they have their specialty. Yeah, they may say that, we can do anything that you want to do. And that's fine, that's great. But you may have some caterers that they are known for Italian, or they're known for Asian, or they're known for soul food, comfort food, barbecue. So if you want, if you know going in that, I want to have like a soul food, comfort food type menu, then maybe you don't want to ask the folks who really specialize in Asian. That's just something that you may want to think about, may want to consider. So know what it is that they specialize in. What's their specialty? What are they great at? And if that's what they're great at doing and great at preparing, and that matches with the type of menu that you want, then you probably have a good fit there, at least starting out. Or at least that may be, a catering company that you want to definitely talk to. So with that in mind, know what types of food. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Thank you for joining. So know what types of food that the caterer is known for preparing. Number 4, be upfront about your budget. Be upfront about your budget. So when you get ready to meet with the caterer, tell them up front, on the front end, exactly how much money you're willing to spend on food. Because it really doesn't make sense to waste your time and their time if you can't afford the services that they provide. So when you go in for your initial consultation, talk to them and let them know, hey, I'm going to spend $3,000 on food for this event, or $5,000 or $10,000, whatever your budget is for food. Let them know that, so that one, they can tell you that that's not going to work for what we do, and there's no problem with that, and you can move on to the next one. Or they can start out, because they know how much money you have and what you want to spend. They can go ahead and figure out what type of menu will fit your budget, and so that you're not going round and round and taking this out or adding this in. From the beginning what it is that they can provide for the budget that you have. So be upfront about your budget. And I'll put a pinpoint there for those that may come in during the replay or joining us now. My name is Stacy Franklin. I am the owner and lead event planner of It's Your Day Weddings and Special Events, located here in Memphis, Tennessee, where, hey, Charnay, thank you for joining, where we specialize in making sure that we eliminate the stress of the wedding planning process. So the things that just to recap, thank you, Charnay. So just to recap, 4 of the things that we talked about so far in choosing the right caterer for your special event. You want to start early. You want to get referrals. You want to know what types of food the caterer specializes in. What are they best known for preparing? And you want to be upfront about your budget. You want to make sure that they know going in, when you do their consultation, that they have an idea of how much money you are willing to spend on food, so that you're not wasting your time or theirs, and knowing that you can afford their services. And if you can't, then you can move on to the next potential caterer, or that caterer can then provide you, thanks Charnay, that caterer can provide you with a menu that suits or best fits the amount of money that you have budgeted for food. So number 5 is verify their licensure. You want to make sure that your caterer is licensed in your state, and that they do have liability insurance. The worst thing that could happen is that people get sick off the food at your wedding or special event. You definitely don't want that to happen, and you don't want to get sued. So you want to verify that they have insurance. You want to verify that they are a licensed caterer. So I know a lot of times in trying to save money, particularly if you're at a venue that allows you to, bring in food, or, whatever the case may be, and they don't have any stipulations, sometimes you may want to have Aunt Sally to do the food. And, in some cases that's fine, at home or whatever. But when you are having your wedding, when you are having a major special event, you want to use a licensed caterer. And it's for that very reason. They have been, cleared by the health department. They've passed various inspections. They have done what they needed to do to be licensed, and they also have liability insurance. And in most cases, a lot of venues will require that. They may not require that you use certain people off their preferred vendor list, but they will require that the people that are bringing in food are licensed caterers and have liability insurance, because they don't want to be sued either. So it's protection for you, for the venue, and for your guest. So number 6 After you have more or less nailed down maybe 2 or 3 caterers that you're really strongly, interested in, you want to schedule a tasting. You want to know that the menu that you've chosen and the food that they have, that it meets your expectations, that it tastes good, that it looks nice, that it's presented well. So you want to get a tasting. In some cases, caterers will charge for that tasting. They'll charge a fee for that. And if you choose to go with them, in some instances, they will take that off of your final bill. So it'll go against, what you'll owe at the end of the day. So you definitely want to schedule a tasting with the caterers that you're, strongly looking at. So say you've, nailed it down to maybe 1 or 2. Then you want to go from there and try and maybe get a tasting and make sure that it looks nice, it tastes good, it's presented well, that kind of thing. So definitely can't stress that enough. And number 7, you want to double check all of the details. So say you finally nailed down to the one that you want to use. And so now they have drawn up their proposal or their contract. You want to make sure that it has all of the necessary details in it. So definitely the date, the time, the location, the type of food and food service that they're going to provide. So is it going to be a seated meal or plated meal? Is it going to be buffet service, or is it going to be kind of a combination of things? Is it going to be food stations? So you want to make sure that that's outlined in your contract. Are they providing bar service? Is it wine and beer, or wine, beer, and liquor, or is it only liquor? Make sure all of that is outlined. What's the deposit? What's the taxes? What are the service fees? What's gratuity? Is that added in? Is gratuity added in, or is that something that you will need or would want to provide, after the fact or on the day of? So those are things to consider. What's the payment schedule? Do you, once you pay your deposit, then, what is the schedule for you to finish it out? Are you paying something on a monthly basis? Are you paying something that, say, you have to have everything paid in full by 60 days out, which a lot, happens in a lot of cases. Everyone is different, and you don't want to leave any of this up to question. You want to be very clear, and you want all of that outlined, in your contract. If, for instance, you go over the allotted time that you originally contracted them out to be there, say your event is from 6 to midnight and you go over to 1 a.m. that they're there with you, then what is the overtime fee? So make sure that that's lined out, because you don't want any surprises. What's the cancellation policy? If for any reason, God forbid, that you had to cancel your wedding or your special event for whatever reason, what is the policy for canceling? And at what point, because it could be that you've gotten up to, say, 30 days out from your event and you decide to call off the wedding. What are you then responsible for? Because they may have at that point done a lot of legwork. And this is true. And Charnay, this is something that I've and I don't know about you, but I've kind of started re-looking at my contracts, as well as just what does that cancellation policy need to look like from an event planner standpoint. But, if you're choosing your caterer, what's in their contract about canceling? How far out can you cancel without having to, be on the, yes, Charnay, I do suggest you get wedding insurance. I sure do. Because this is a big investment. It's definitely, and really event insurance, in general, it's a big investment. And so I definitely suggest that. And so that would help you if for any reason you did have to cancel your wedding, and you had event insurance. Gosh, I can't talk tonight. That would help you, with that. So you want to know what their cancellation policy is. You want to know all these different things. So make sure all of that is lined out, you know, in the contract. And anything else that may not be there that you have questions about, ask them. You know, this is the time to do that before you sign. Put your name on the dotted line and sign and start, you know, paying deposits and that kind of thing. Any question that you have, you need to ask that. Not just of your caterer, but any of your event vendors. Ask those questions. It's very, very important that you do that. So let's just go back and recap. So the 7 things that I just wanted to share tonight: start early, get referrals, talk with family and friends, people who have recently gotten married, you know, events that you've gone to and you enjoyed the food. Find out who did the food and touch base with them. Find out, you know, who they used. Number 3, you want to know what types of food the caterer is best known for preparing. And maybe you want to use, if you want an Asian, you know, style thing, then go to a caterer who specializes in that. No need to go to the guy who does the barbecue to get an Asian thing. That doesn't seem right. So go to who it is that specializes in what it is that you are looking for. Number 4, be upfront. And I can't stress this enough. And Charnay, I'm sure you probably tell your folks this too. Be upfront about your budget. You know, if you only have $3,000 for food, tell them I have $3,000 for food, so that they don't come to you with a $10,000, you know, type of menu. And then that way you alleviate a lot of stress of taking stuff out, you getting frustrated with them getting frustrated with you. Let them come to you with a menu that fits your budget, or let them tell you, you know what, you know, Miss So-and-so, this just doesn't work for us. We don't do food on this type of, but you know, our menus are much more expensive than this. And that's okay. That's all right. You will be able to find a caterer that can work with your budget, but you just have to be willing to go out there and do the research, or have a planner on board that can help you, you know, with that. So be upfront about your budget. Verify licensure. Make sure that they are licensed. Make sure that they have liability insurance. Schedule a tasting. You want to make sure that the food tastes good, that it looks good, that it's presented well. And then 7, double check the details. Double check your contract. Any questions that you have, things that may not be in there that you have question about. You don't want to put your name on the dotted line and everything is not lined out about what you are paying for. You want to know what all you are paying for. Yet read the fine print. You are absolutely right, Charnay. Read the fine print. So those are my 7 tips for choosing the right caterer for your wedding or special event. Like I said, it doesn't have to be. I know I talk mostly about weddings, and I do more than weddings, but anytime that you are doing a special event and you've made the decision that you want to hire a professional caterer, these are tips that can help anyone. Regardless of what type of event that you are doing, a wedding, rehearsal dinner, anniversary party, graduation party, bridal shower, bachelorette, you know, whatever the case, whatever the type of event, when you make that decision that you are going to go the route of hiring a caterer, these are tips that would definitely help you. Charnay, anything that you would suggest for people that may catch us on the replay? Anything that I may have missed or that you think is good to add? Thank you for joining. I appreciate it at this 10 o'clock hour. I'm about ready to go to bed. It's late. Well, it's 2 after 10 here, and I know it's late where you are. It's after 11 there. You think so? You think I covered it? I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So with that being said, I'm going to get ready to get off, but I think if you use these tips for choosing your caterer, it's going to run smoothly, and you take the time to do the research and ask the right questions, you'll get exactly what you want and for the money that you are spending. Like I said, food is probably one of the major costs in any special event that you have, and you want to be comfortable with the caterer that you choose, and know that you are getting good quality food and great service on top of it. So again, my name is Stacy Franklin. I am the owner and lead event planner for It's Your Day Weddings and Special Events here in Memphis, Tennessee. And my purpose is to eliminate the stress from your event planning process. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off for tonight. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as our website, which is itsyourdayweddings.net, itsyourdayweddings.net. I provide virtual planning services, and I also have services that range from day of coordination to full service. And we also do wedding venue tours here in the Memphis area, and our next one is scheduled for Sunday, August 20th. Sunday, August 20th. So please go out to itsyourdayweddings.net, itsyourdayweddings.net. Would love to learn more about your event and what it is that you're planning and how we can eliminate stress from your event planning process. So I'm going to say good night. Sharnae, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I will talk to you guys the next go round.